Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video, I'll be showing you a great way to keep your Space Marines and Chaos Space Marines safe during transport. You may have already seen the collaboration I'm doing with KR Multi-Cases, where I'm showing you their tray selector tool and some great solutions for Necrons, Astra Militarum, and today it's the Space Marines. A big thanks to KR Cases for sending out their multi-case system for the Space Marines. I've got all these Chaos Space Marines, Ultramarines, Firstborns, Primaris, and they're all going to fit in these 4 boxes. I've got a nice selection out to show you. So I've got a flyer, I've got some vehicles like the Razorback here, and some models, and some of them have got like large weapons that stick out pretty high, so I'll show you how they fit in these cases with the sponge inserts. Here's our first case, and to open it up you just push the handle in and that opens the box, but then to shut it you push it down till it clicks. Really neat little system. You've got the carry handle if you wanted to carry this on its own, but as you've seen in the other videos, hopefully I've got the bag for that. So inside you get the protective layer on top, and then all the different layers of foam. They'll all come with the little pieces still inside the slots, and you just take those out. It's already pre-cut, and so that's not going to stick or anything. I've took these out already. You can see that's going to be for the flyer and a stand, and then all these little trays all line up on top of each other. You've got these ones which are pull and pluck, so you can get them just the right size for your miniatures with their special weapons, and the shaped vehicles like bikes and things like that. They fit really nicely in that. I'll show you later on in the video. And all these foam inserts go on top of each other, and then they're well protected by that cardboard box as well. And you see in the top left hand side there's a little diagram, and that's from the tray selector tool. So if you saw the video I did for the tray selector, you'll know how that works. If you haven't, check it out though, and I'll link to it at the end of the video. Let's start with the Storm Talon gunship. So I'll just pop it off the stand, and then you can see that the foam is cut perfectly for this. So I'll flip it upside down, and that's going to go in there and be really snug, and that's not going to go anywhere. That's really well protected. The stand can go in, doesn't matter which way you glue the little stand onto the base, it's going to fit in nicely. And then that's well protected with that sheet of foam. You can click it and you know that that's not going to get damaged whatsoever. So you've got that double layer of protection, and then it goes in the bag. Here's our next multi-case, and this one's going to give us the big deep pieces of foam that we can store the Land Raider in. You can also put your Dreadnoughts in here, and even get a Predator or a Rhino in there as well. So you've got loads of options with this, and just tons of room in here. You can fit so many vehicles in these trays, it's really great. So I've took out the larger pieces of foam earlier on, and this is for the Land Raider. So this one fits in there perfectly. This is the Redeemer with the flamers on the side, so those sponsons go in nice and snug. I've got my Contemptor Dreadnought there, and I put him in these larger sections. Then for the Firstborn Dreadnoughts, like this one here, my Wolfen Dreadnought from the Space Wolves, you can get 3 in there, and you just pop the arm off that one. I've magnetised mine so I can change it and just really fit it into these little slots nicely. And then you've got the big deep one here, where you're going to put like a tank of some kind, and some of the other miniatures too. So ones like this with the large sword, that's going to be tricky to put in a regular 32 or 40mm base size, so you can put it in these ones that are designed for the larger models, or use the pick and pluck foam tray inserts that you'll see later on in the video. Now we're on to the third multi-case, and this one is going to give us tray inserts that are perfect for our 32mm bases. So again, you just take out these little foam pieces. I've kept them as bricks, and I use them for dungeon games. You might have seen it if you watched my Brutality battle report. But here we go. I've got one of my Space Marines there, Primaris one, and he's going to fit in. You can see his chainsword pokes out a little bit, but I'll show you a little fix to that later on. But even leaving it like that, it's going to be nice and safe, because once you put this layer on, it's going to protect it. Now this foam is really soft and really bendy, so you can see I can roll it up, and then it's going to be really bouncy and protect all these pieces as they layer up. But I will show you how you can snip the foam and then tuck those little appendages in and weapons really neatly. And now the fourth and final tray of the selection here is going to give you options for some of the larger ones like Terminators. You're going to get your bikes in here. That's going to be really great. And also some of the models that are a little bit wider, and a little bit taller. So let's pick one out. Here we've got my Terminator with the pair of lightning claws, and he's going to fit perfectly in there. This is going to keep him really safe, and he's not going to move around much at all, and so that's brilliant. Here's my Executioner that I use for my Chaos Space Marines, but this is actually one of the models taken from Horus Heresy. He might be better in one of the deeper ones we saw earlier, but if you wanted to put him in a tray, you could even just bend the foam a little bit and he'll fit no problem, and it doesn't put much pressure on the parts. So for these ones, we've got one of the Aggressors here. Again, perfect size. This one fits in there just right. So it's really great for these kind of models, either stood up or laying down. But I must admit, I like to stand mine up if I can. That's all the multi-cases now, so let's have a look at how we can snip the foam so we can fit things like chainswords and power swords in there neatly. And so you lay it in, and then you just get scissors, take out all the other pieces of foam there, and just snip it at the angle that you know it's going to sit at, and then you can push that in, and then that's going to hold it really nice and neatly in place, and then you can put the foam on the top and that'll cover it right up. So that's nice and snug now, well protected on all sides. You can see there it's nice and flush. You can just push the base in and that's not going anywhere. So you can even shake it, as you can see, and that's not going to come out. So nice and secure. On some of the deeper trays, you've got options of how many pieces of foam to pull out. So you can see here, they're trimmed, but they're not completely cut, and you just tear them out to the size you want. Now you've got a nice big space there for a biker. If you've got something like a Raven Wing that's got the bits sticking up, or maybe even the Chaos Bikers with the spikes coming out of the wheels, then these are going to be just right for those. Or you can leave the two inserts in there, not peel them out, and that'll be great maybe for a Sorcerer to go in there, and then he's going to be nice and protected too. Now, one thing I like to do is keep all these bits, because they can just go on top of models. You can even layer more models on top, or if you take arms off and put them in for the dreadnoughts, that kind of thing. Here's another pick and pluck one. Loads of options here, so you can really make all different shapes. So if you've got a model that's glued in a particular pose, you can pick and pluck out all the pieces you want so that it goes in there just perfectly. I find that this particular foam insert is great for the width of the old school firstborn bikers, because they fit in there really nicely. And again, if you've got the little aerial at the back with the skull on it, or little pieces sticking up, that's going to fit in there really great. So you can just go with that, or you could pick another one up and lay it completely flat. You've just got tons of options with these. And again, just keep those bits because they're great for that extra protection. Here's the foam insert we used earlier on for the dreadnoughts. So you can see this is the Wolfen one again going in there. But you've got a similar thing with this to pick and pluck out extra bits of foam. So with this large rectangle, you can put something like a Contemptor dreadnought in there, tuck him in nice and snug. Or you can put in your Rhino, Razorback, or even a Predator. And so you can see here, leaving it as it is, it's going to be a little bit tight. You could bend that foam a bit and get it in there if you wanted to. But with the side pieces, you can tear these out, and then that gives you the little sections for the sponsons. Or you can take out all the sections and just have an even larger pocket to put your model in. So there we go, there's the KR multi-case system for the Space Marines, and you can even put your Horus Heresy and Chaos Space Marines in there too. And having these nice selection and variety of the foam inserts gives you all the flexibility you need for your army, and especially if you haven't got all the models yet and you want to add more of them to your collection as you go, like I'm doing with my Imperium magazine. I know that with those pick and pluck trays alongside the custom ones designed for the different vehicles, I know that I'm going to get all those models in there really well. And with 4 trays, I can get thousands of points worth of models safely protected for transport and also for storage. There are loads of other videos on the channel that compare NAVARA and KR cases, show you how to use the tray selector tool on their website. You can also see some detailed videos for the Astra Militarum and the Necrons. For the next video in this series, I'll be looking at Kill Team and looking at some of the smaller boxes and trays available. I'll put links down below to the KR Multi-Case website, and then you can go and check out the tray selector as well and see how you can put custom trays together specifically for your army. And you can see the huge range of cases, trays, inserts and bags that they offer for loads of other games as well as Games Workshop. Another huge thank you to KR Multi-Cases for collaborating with me on this series to show you some great ways to store and transport your miniatures. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it's given you a good idea about how you can put together a selection of these multi-cases for your army. And if you liked the video, please hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this, And don't forget to hit that notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these daily videos possible, and if you're interested in joining the community, it'd be awesome to see you there, and I'll put a link for that in the description down below.